Good morning, CSL.
Good morning.
It's good to be back. You know that we have 7 core values. These are the things that we stand for, that we talk about, but we live from as well. When it comes to what you live for and what you stand for, it's very important to decide that for yourself as an individual because it makes the path clearer for you, the choices you can make and the choices you can't make. At CSL, we have 7 core values. They are love and healing and oneness and abundance and spiritual growth and service and diversity. And the core value that we're highlighting today is healing. Healing. When we think of healing, we think of a physical healing. Something happens to our body and then it's healed. But I have to tell you, I've been on this earth for quite a while now, and I've noticed that everybody I have ever met has some issue that needs to be healed. Some people got man problems, some people got money problems, some people just got all kind of problems. You know, this is the path that we take as spiritual beings. It's to live in a world that doesn't see us, that doesn't understand us, that can't relate to us, and find our way to our own personal power. So everybody has some kind of healing that needs to happen. I also happen to believe that it is your responsibility, not somebody outside you, to heal you, and that you are responsible for creating your own path to healing. And I believe in every method, absolutely every method of healing, no matter what works. If you see a doctor, that's fantastic. If you light a candle, that's fantastic. If you do a chant, if you do a spiritual mind treatment, if you do a prayer, whatever it is, I believe in the multiple effects of healing. It is done unto you as you believe. So the most important thing about healing is that you believe that the process that you're using, that whatever it is, whatever it's a pill or a process, whatever it is, that you believe in it, because healing is always possible. There is only one healer. There's nobody out here in the world that can heal you. And that healer is love. Love heals all things. Find love. So if you've just tuned into Facebook, then you need to stay till the very end because there's an announcement about the future of CSL that you don't want to miss. Hi, everybody in the room. Our book of the month this month is titled Upgrade Yourself, and this week the lesson's about mastering your emotions. So I've got a couple of personal stories, true stories about my own life that I'm going to sort of weave in and out of the lesson. Hopefully you'll enjoy those. They'll entertain you but also educate you. The first one took place in my living room many years ago on a cold winter night. My husband and I had only been together a couple years, and we're sitting on the sofa watching this very sappy Lifetime movie about a couple in love. And at some point, the woman in the film is in a horrible car wreck and becomes disfigured and disabled for the rest of her life. And this brings up loyalty issues for the man. I mean, does he stay with her now because she's got all these limitations? Or does he leave her? What kind of life are they going to have together now that she's in this wheelchair? How much can love really endure? Oh, the drama of it all. Well, of course, because it's one of those Lifetime movies that pulls at your heartstrings, the man does stay, they get married, and they live happily ever after. And after the movie ends, my dear-hearted husband turns to me and says, I just want you to know, if anything should happen to you like that, if you were become disabled, I would take care of you for the rest of your life. And I said to him, I just want you to know that if something like that should ever happen to you and you should become disabled or there's some problem, I will hire the best caregiver to take care of you for the rest of your life. And he was shocked. He was shocked. He said, you wouldn't take care of me yourself? And I go, oh, no, you don't want that. You don't want that, trust me. It'd be like Betty Davis taking care of Joan Crawford in the movie, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? You didn't eat your lunch, Blanche. clearly, the universe has not designed me to be a caregiving hand holder or one of those people who will sit by your side and cry with you over your loss. I'm just not that guy. And it's not that I don't care. I care a great deal. And it's not that I don't feel your pain or have compassion. I really do. I just express it differently. I happen to love people that are more expressive emotionally than I am. I have a huge appreciation for people like my husband, the nurses and the hospice workers, the teachers and ministers. But nature has given me other gifts. You see, I'm the guy you want to be with in a crisis. If the building's on fire, I'm not going to go screaming into the streets freaking out. I'm going to calmly escort you out of the building. I'm the guy you want when you're in trouble, when you're sick and you don't know how to heal, when you're stuck and you don't know how to get unstuck. Clarity is my gift. Wisdom is my guide. So I can get you out of that mess. I can show you how. You know, maybe it comes from my family upbringing. I come from a long line of stoic Midwesterners. You've seen us on the American Gothic painting, you know, the farmer and his wife, both of them standing there completely emotionless. You know, as a group, I just don't think we're very touchy-feely. We don't sit around on the sofa and snuggle. I mean, you know the story of Ole, the North Dakotan husband who loved his wife so much that he almost told her. That's my family. Now, I love it that nature has designed us all with different gifts. I love the variety pack that it's put together so that we can all enjoy a richer experience of life. That is, if you don't get trapped in trying to get people to be like you, or even worse, making them bad and wrong because they're not like you. Some people are highly emotional, and others aren't. Some people go all the way to the left and become completely stoic, and others will cry at the drop of a hat. Although we may each express our emotions differently, in some ways, we're all the same because we all come from love, we all have hearts of gold, and we all are designed to feel things very deeply. You see, we've been designed by the universe for self-expression. We've been created to emote, to feel deeply and be affected by life, and then to express our feelings. And so there's no right or wrong way to express your emotions. However, there's certainly a constructive and a destructive way. Sometimes people misunderstand our teaching. Contrary to what some people think, this teaching is not about self-improvement. You know, there's a self-improvement section, but our books won't be in that. And that's because you can't improve perfection, and we believe that we are all perfect spiritual beings as God has created each one of us. So our teaching is about self-expression and self-enlightenment. It's about waking up to the powerful being that you are and finding ways to stay conscious of that power as you move out into the world of effect. Our founder, the founder of our teaching, Dr. Ernest Holmes said, if you can change your thinking, then you can change your life. If you can master your mind, you can master your fate. And so it's all about not letting the world of effect out there infect you, not letting other people sell you their opinions and their beliefs. It's about you knowing the truth, you deciding right from wrong, and you deciding what is just and what is unjust. We hold these truths to be self-evident. That's what our country was founded upon. The idea that the highest truth that you can ever find is held within. It is self-evident. You see, we all have the same life within us. The one comes from the one, the life of spirit, pure and perfect. But as we each awaken to that life, and when we do, that is when we come into our own personal power and our own greatness. So technically, we're not evolving, we're unfolding. We're not students in a school who are learning something we don't know. We're actually remembering what has always been known within us. That's why it's called intuition. We intuit the mind of God as it thinks through us. And so the key to enlightenment, then, the key to your own power, is to take full responsibility for all of yourself, and I do mean all of yourself, all of your thoughts and all of your feelings. Because, you probably not ever thought of this, but no one can make you think a certain way. No one can force you to think a thought. They can try to influence your thinking. They can try to persuade you to think a certain way, but you choose your own thoughts. And that same truth applies to your feelings. They're your feelings. No one can make you feel a certain way. So if you're intent and hell-bent on being sad and miserable, nobody can make you happy. If you are committed to your own negativity, no one will be able to break the barrier of your belief. You will stay negative because you've decided that. Your feelings are your feelings. You own them. And you're the only one who can change them. In Upgrade Yourself, the book, the author wrote this. He said, many of your emotional reactions come from your assumptions about how things should be. The way you interpret events and how you feel about them will change if you alter your assumptions. Alter your assumptions? Well, this is why drivers in Florida make me so mad. Because my assumption is that they're all in cahoots with each other. It's some kind of evil plan, I'm telling you, to get under my skin. And this is why they are strategically driving down Federal Highway 10 miles under the speed limit, side by side, so I can't pass them. And if they get the hell out of my way, then I'd be happy. Did you hear what I said? They make me mad. They're in control of my response and my emotion. All of the drivers in South Florida are making me mad. All of them. It's their fault. I am not responsible for how I feel. They are doing it to me. I am just a poor victim of their sorry driving skills. You see how easy it is to give your power away? To let someone else change your emotional state. We're unconsciously giving our power away, giving it to people we don't even know. You don't know those people on the road. You don't know those people that are driving next to you. And yet you've given them the full power to decide your mood. Wow. What do you think would happen if when you got on the road, you made a different assumption? What if you said to yourself, you know what? It's the 21st century and people are distracted. They're just going to be on their phones. And some of them don't know where they're going because they don't live here full time, and some of them are just going to be reckless. How would your driving mood change if you took your power back, if you decided before you started your engine to not let anyone disturb the inner sanctuary of your vehicle? They are your feelings. You are responsible for them. Learn to use them constructively, not destructively. All right, here's the second story. Keep in mind my stoic past, my Midwestern constipation of emotion, someone told me recently. So, again, it's a family story. About 10 years ago, my husband Aubrey's mother passed away. Now, I love this woman. She was a wonderful woman. Talk about kind and compassionate. Everybody said this woman is a saint. She loved everybody, and everybody loved her. They live in a small town in Texas, and everybody loved her. So when we find out we're living in Kansas City, we drive down to the small town in Texas for the funeral. Very sad day. My husband is African American, so prior to this, I had never been to a black funeral in a black Baptist church. And let me tell you, it was nothing like the stoic funerals that I have been to of my brethren, my white friends. So I learned a lot in this trip. I learned a lot about the culture. First of all, when dressing for the funeral, the family was supposed to choose a color that they all would wear to be able to distinguish themselves from the rest of the congregation in the church that day. And we were told before we left what the color would be. The family chose pink. Fabulous. So, on the day of the funeral, the church was packed to the gills. A couple of hundred of black people were jammed into this tiny, unair-conditioned Baptist church on a hot summer Texas day, all of them fanning themselves to try to stay cool. So here I come. The only white boy in the entire church, walking down the center aisle all the way down to the front, wearing pink. God help me. Now, I gotta be me, so you know I wasn't wearing a pink jumpsuit or a pink suit. I mean, I'm not that gay. I'm not. I wore a classic black Armani suit with a hot pink shirt, and I looked fabulous. But it didn't matter because I stuck out like a sore thumb. The only gay boy, well, presumed, the only white guy in the room, and the only non-Baptist. I'm sure some of them were thinking, surely that boy's going straight to hell. Well, as I sat there politely in the pew next to my husband and his family, I was absolutely fascinated by what took place over the next 2 hours. And yes, you heard me right. The funeral lasted for 2 hours, both of which were underscored with this sad, sad melody on the church organ for 2 hours. And it built up this emotional state of everybody in the room so that there wasn't a dry eye in the place. Everyone was feeling deeply their sadness and their feelings. Even the stoic white boy dropped a tear or two. About an hour and a half into the funeral, these women, who were all dressed in white, started to approach the pews where the family was seated. Well, later I learned that these were called the nurses of the church, and that's why they all wore white. And their job was to take each of the family members to escort them one by one up to the casket so that they could pay their respects to the dearly departed. Now, each family member was literally and physically held up, each side by one of these church nurses. And that's because, just in case you had a jumper. Now, you know what a jumper is? Someone who is so overwrought with emotions that they throw themselves over the casket and try to jump in. And oh Lord, you don't want that. Fortunately, there was no jumper that day. But Aunt Reba did fall out on the floor and nearly fainted before one of the nurses walked her back to the seat. Now, after it was all over, 2 hours of this heightened emotional state of sadness and despair, we all go back to the family home. And I want you to know just about everybody in that town stopped by with these massive platters of food. I had the best peach cobbler I've ever had in my life at his mother's funeral. And we all sat around and we told stories and laughed together at the dinner table. Now, which one of these do you think is most healthy emotionally? The stoic, repressed white people at a funeral, all trying hard not to break down. Or the black funeral, where everybody shows their emotions, feels deeply their sadness, and actually expresses it. Which one do you think will overcome their loss and heal more quickly? Those who are stoic and trying not to feel, or those who are feeling all of it and letting it all out? I think the answer is obvious. Your emotional health is dependent upon you expressing your feelings fully, all of them. There is a healthy, constructive way to do that for you. You are the owner of your feelings. So don't let anyone make you feel any particular way that doesn't serve you. Take your power back. Feel your feelings. They are, by the way, a precious gift from your Creator. And so ends the lesson. Whether you know it or not, you are in a relationship with life. You're in a relationship with God, with Spirit. It designed your DNA and gave you a body in which to occupy and breathed its breath inside of you and set you free to discover yourself. That life has never abandoned you. It lives surrounding you, inside of you, around, embracing you. You have a relationship with it that maybe you've ignored or stopped listening to. So we take time together, time in our spiritual community to stop and to address Spirit, and to maybe take some time to listen to that voice inside that leads and guides us.
Spirit meets me there. Spirit meets me there.
We are discoverers and explorers in life. Nature has created us to be so. We are always envisioning something better for ourselves than we're currently experiencing. We have visions of greatness. And that's because there's something better than we're experiencing all of the time, and we want it. Whatever good it is, we want it. We've just mistaken the location of the good we seek. We think it'll come from something happening outside of ourselves, when in truth, all good resides within. The answer to your question is within. The love you are trying to get from other people is within you. When we stop trying to get things to happen outside of ourselves and turn within to Spirit, turn within to love, we start to feel empowered again and clear again and healed again. Let's take some time now to be still. Be still and know that I am God. Let's take time to be still, and know. I want to leave you with the truth. The truth is this: no matter what is going on around you, no matter what is happening out there in the world that you agree or disagree with you on the inside, in the purity of your being, right now and forever, all is well. There is a center of peace which you can come home to. There is a love that resides within you that will heal you. So with you, all is well. And so it is.
I breathe out, I breathe in, I am still, I go within. When I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find, Spirit meets me there, Spirit meets me there.
We close our service as we always do with this affirmation that is missing a word at the end, and when I saw it, it made me so mad. No, it didn't. Would you say this with me, please? I am in charge of my own emotions. No one can make me feel any particular way. I am a sentient being created by a spiritual universe intent on expressing itself. It has created each one of us as individual representatives of its own perfect life, its own perfect joy. Out of its desire for self-expression, each and every one of us is created in a unique, unrepeatable pattern in all of time and history. We are individual manifestations of spirit, blessed with thinking minds and feeling hearts. Each one of our thoughts comes as a choice, unconscious or conscious. Each one of our feelings comes as a choice, conscious or unconscious. Today, I claim I am consciously aware of my own authority, my own power to choose today what I think and how I feel. This truth reminds me of a greater truth, that I am surrounded by love, and with me all of the time, no matter what is showing up on the outside of life. Love is the healer. Love is the forgiver. Love is the answer. God is love. And so it is. Thank you for watching, and thanks for supporting CSL. If you'd like to know more about us, check us out on our website or social media. Blessings.